She thinks of herself as this fashion guru. I think she just didn't like the way she looked in the pictures. I think her legs didn't look good. I think she thought she looked bloated in the pictures, maybe. I think that's probably why she called.
Was a demand reportedly by Meghan to take down these pictures. She was pissed that the Kardashians posted them. Meanwhile, what lunatic poses for a photo with a Kardashian and thinks it's not going to get posted?
Meghan Markle have been deleted from pictures of Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party from Kris Jenner herself, the birthday girl, and Kim Kardashian.
Meghan pulled up chasing spotlight vibes, hit those cameras like she owned the place, and ended up getting roasted by the Kardashians in real time, and the receipts are straight embarrassing. It was supposed to be Kris Jenner's big 70th birthday, the type of night only someone with her power could pull off.
But in my opinion, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle crashed Kris Jenner's 70th birthday. Okay, so Kris Jenner, she had this big 70th birthday party at Lauren Sanchez and Jeff Bezos' house. It looked like an Illuminati meeting. It looked like a Diddy freak-off party, okay?
Bezos' $165 million mansion was glowing like a diamond. Every corner set up for glam shots, and the guest list looked like the richest group chat in America. But instead of waking up to headlines praising her legendary night, Kris had to deal with something way more annoying, and it came wrapped in royal confusion. Meghan and Harry's whole disappearing photo saga crashed the vibe so hard that people at the party were whispering about it. The night went from classy celebration to a full-on PR headache. Not because the Kardashians messed up, they actually kept things smooth, but because Meghan and Harry acted like they needed special treatment.
Meghan Markle.
Yeah.
She showed up at the Kris Jenner 70th birthday bash with Harry and got her picture taken. And I'm just going to be honest, she didn't look good in either shot.
Permission for every angle, and some kind of retroactive photo control like they were running the event. They really pulled up expecting top billing at someone else's party, and that's when everything started getting messy. Insiders say Meghan's team hit up Kim and Kris right after the party, asking them to take the photos down, and people could not believe the nerve. Imagine telling the birthday host to delete her own pictures from her own Instagram on her big night. The energy was straight disrespectful, and everyone felt it. And here's the twist that made the whole room talk.
Every big celebrity and billionaire like Bill Gates was there, and Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King. Of course, she's got to tag along and be the, perpetual.
People close to the situation say Meghan allegedly asked for those photos to be posted in the first place because she noticed she wasn't in the first Kardashian photo dump, which in her world felt like a social media wipeout. Panic kicked in fast, and suddenly she needed to be seen. So the pics went up, but the internet instantly started clowning the whole thing. Tabloids zoomed in, comparisons to Kate spread everywhere, and that's when the switch flipped and Meghan wanted those exact same photos gone like they never existed.
Oh, everybody's been saying this. This is a conversation I've been having all week.
Right?
Yeah.
She did not look good. We're putting it on the board. There's one with Kim Kardashian, who's in the purple.
The Kardashians weren't just annoyed, they were offended because their huge celebration was being turned into someone else's emotional crisis. Kris didn't sign up for that kind of chaos, but Meghan dropped it on her anyway, and people around the event felt the tension rising. Then comes the part that made jaws drop when Allison Boff chimed in saying, first, someone asked for the photos to go up, then someone asked for them to come down, and insiders swear it wasn't normal at all.
Were there. The entire Kardashian clan was there. But then Prince Harry and Meghan Markle showed up at the party. We have some pictures of them at the party we'll put up on the screen. So Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, they're taking pictures with Kris Jenner.
They claim it was Meghan pushing first, Harry following second, both of them spinning into panic mode like the whole night revolved around them. Meghan was chasing attention hard, while Harry was scrambling for damage control. And that clash turned into a full public meltdown right in front of the world. The moment the drama hit the internet, people had a blast with it, and someone even dropped the nickname ILB, and trust me, the internet grabbed that and sprinted.
Where Harry is looking at Kris.
Oh.
If you look closely, okay.
His eyes.
Do you see where they are?
On her boobs.
And he looks wasted.
It was brutal, funny, and honestly matched the vibe too perfectly. Meghan wanted eyes on her, wanted validation, wanted her moment like the night belonged to her. Meanwhile, Harry was trying to get those photos erased before anyone even refreshed their feed. One Hollywood party suddenly turned into a full social media storm, and people were stunned watching it blow up. Now here's the wild part. Kris Jenner is 70, and this night was supposed to be about her.
Meghan Markle, they're taking pictures with Kris Jenner. They're partying, they're having a good time. Where things get kind of dicey and weird.
But Meghan somehow made it about herself again, and that irritated a lot of people at the party. The Kardashians run an entire empire by controlling every frame, every camera angle, every bit of their public image, and they've mastered it. Harry and Meghan still act like one frantic phone call to Tom Sykes, or Presley can magically rewrite what happened, but it doesn't work like that.
And Meghan, that's your prize, okay? That's your Duke, your Prince of the Blood. He's ogling a 70-year-old woman.
They're not just slipping at the Hollywood PR game. They're struggling in real time, turning a simple birthday night into a week-long headline circus. And through all of it, Meghan's push for fame keeps shouting, "Look at me," louder than anyone expected. Harry looked stressed, red-faced, and totally lost in the crowd, and the panic was written all over him, like he didn't know where to stand or who to follow. They became a live lesson for anyone watching, because you do not underestimate the Kardashians, you do not play messy games with them, and you definitely don't ask for photos to go up, then demand they come down like the world won't notice.
Some folks online are speculating, okay, we have much more important things going on in life, but some folks online are speculating this is about Remembrance Day, this is about the poppies, this is about the fact that Meghan and Harry were partying.
Everybody watched, the internet laughed, and the Sussex pair ended up facing exactly the kind of chaos they created for themselves. The photos hit the public timeline instantly, and you could almost feel Meghan internally screaming as soon as they started trending. Harry looked like someone tossed him into a glitter-heavy Hollywood nightmare with no escape plan, red face, glassy eyes, standing way too close to Kris Jenner like he was begging for a signal to leave.
When they should have been honoring the veterans, right, and honoring the troops and people who made sacrifices. I actually don't think it was that at all. I am a big fan of Occam's razor, which means the simplest explanation is usually the most logical and likely.
Twitter exploded within minutes. Memes were everywhere, and people zoomed in on Harry's wandering eyes trying to figure out exactly where he was looking. The reaction was one giant collective yikes from the whole internet. The Kardashians posted the photos without thinking twice, which only made the moment even louder. And Meghan, meanwhile, stood there with that forced smile glued on, trying to keep her whole PR world from cracking apart with nothing but her eyelashes holding the pieces together. Meanwhile, the internet is dragging her harder than a reunion special where everyone shows up ready to argue, and the comments are going wild.
No, was a demand reportedly by Meghan to take down these pictures. She was pissed that the Kardashians posted them. Meanwhile,
here's the part that had everyone shaking their head. They didn't get caught off guard by paparazzi, not even close. Meghan and Harry posed for these pictures like it was their big premiere. They walked down that photo corridor with full confidence, leaned into Kris, smiled again, and basically said, "Yes, please capture us," which means they signed up for every bit of this drama. Beyoncé kept it low-key. Other guests stayed in the background, but Meghan and Harry stepped right into the spotlight because that's exactly what they wanted. They wanted the photos, the attention, the moment, all eyes on them, and they weren't shy about it.
Markle called and said, Kim, Kris, Kylie, Kendall, other K names, I don't like the way I look. I think that's what it's about because Meghan Markle is so meticulous about her brand, except for the fact that her candles don't have wicks.
But then reality hit hard. People zoomed in, memes popped up instantly, headlines got loud, and suddenly those very pictures they begged for turned into the ones they desperately wanted deleted. And the Kardashians weren't the bad guys at all. They were just holding on to the receipts like they always do. What we're seeing is pure embarrassment dressed up as outrage, and humiliation acting like it's some kind of moral high ground. Meghan and Harry found out in real time that you can't pose for photos and then pretend to be the victims once the world reacts, because that's not how Hollywood works, and definitely not how the Kardashians move. Get real, Meghan is out here clawing for relevance in Hollywood like a cat dangling from a chandelier, and everyone sees it happening in slow motion. Invitations barely come in.
If you're not on camera, why live?
does it even matter?
Does it matter? So they go, the cost of entry, this is a blood oath you take when you cross the threshold of any Kardashian Jenner enterprise. You're going to be exploited.
Big parties leave her off the list. Montecito events move on without her, and everywhere she shows up, photographers catch her wandering around hotspots trying to bump into famous faces on purpose. She gives those "Notice me Hollywood, notice me now" looks every time a camera pops, and it's starting to feel obvious. That's why when the invite to Kris Jenner's massive 70th birthday rolled in, inside a mansion overflowing with Bezos-level luxury, surrounded by Oprah, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and the elite of the elite, Meghan must have heard a whole victory drumline in her head.
Now, some folks say Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, maybe they went to the party and they expected it to be more private. I'm not buying that either. Okay, I'm not buying that either. This whole we want privacy thing, we want to be left alone is a bunch of baloney and BS, okay?
She grabbed Harry's hand, marched into that mansion like it was her comeback tour, and let every camera snap at every angle because she believed this was her big return moment. This was the crown jewel. The night the photos would finally shout, "Meghan is back and Hollywood can't ignore her," and you could see her confidence from the driveway. But the universe, and especially the Kardashians, had a completely different script ready.
Will be exploited. That should be like underneath the entryway of every Kardashian event.
100, like South Park. Like, we want our privacy, you will be exploited.
The photos hit the internet fast, and Meghan's glossy Hollywood storyline crashed straight into reality as people reacted. Her carefully crafted image didn't land the way she imagined, and the whole fantasy shattered right in front of everyone watching. The UK tabloids went wild with this one, cranking out headlines and memes faster than a TikTok challenge takes off, and people could not stop laughing at how fast the jokes spread. Even Hollywood insiders, the ones who quietly decide who gets invited and who gets iced out, rolled their eyes so hard it looked painful. Instead of earning prestige or getting the validation she wanted, Meghan's whole brand cracked right under the spotlight, and the reaction was rough.
Yes, okay, you don't go to a Kardashian party expecting privacy. Okay, Kim Kardashian, we discovered her on her back.
She came in expecting admiration, maybe even a little envy, but what she got was mockery, viral jokes, and a reminder that Hollywood doesn't hand out forgiveness when someone tries too hard. Harry, meanwhile, looked like he didn't know if he should be proud or embarrassed, following Meghan's dramatic entrance like he was strapped into the ride with no brakes.
Privacy.
We want privacy. And so these two, so apparently now the Kardashian Jenners are extremely angry with the Sussexes.
The whole setup felt like a stage show. The crowd was brutal, and the fallout hit fast and loud. And honestly, the visual contrast between Meghan and her surroundings was straight up iconic chaos. And Meghan was performing from every angle like she had her own film crew, posing with perfect smiles, shaping every move, and treating the paparazzi like they were her personal band playing on cue. She lifted every eyebrow, angled every shoulder, and moved like she wanted the room to feel her presence, her control, her power, her Hollywood comeback energy.
The driveway leading up to this thing was they had hired like the best paparazzi in the business to take photos of all the guests coming in.
Yes.
She was glowing like it was her moment at Buckingham, except the throne was Bezos's $165 million mansion. And Harry, poor guy, looked like a walking cautionary tale, stuck in the middle of a scene he didn't fully understand but couldn't escape from. Harry looked like a man who accidentally walked into a glitter storm, realized none of it was real, and instantly regretted every RSVP he ever sent out.
Entering the Bezos-Sanchez lair, they were the ones throwing the party for Chris, by the way,
okay.
Jeff Bezos.
Oh, naturally. Okay.
So, you know, there's all theories about why Meghan wanted to be in that party in particular.
He stood there stiff, glassy-eyed, fidgeting in that tux like he wanted to vanish, and nothing about his expression said comfort. His smile was forced, his whole vibe drained, and those eyes told a story the tabloids couldn't wait to zoom in on, especially when he lingered a little too close to Kris Jenner. It was awkward, messy, and honestly kind of legendary in the worst way. Meghan came in calculated, glowing, and hungry for attention like she had something to prove, while Harry looked reactive, uncomfortable, and totally unpolished. She wanted relevance and validation. He wanted the open bar and a dark corner to disappear into, and that contrast was impossible to ignore. Memes, GIFs, commentary, endless scrolling, every single pixel of those photos amplified the narrative louder than any interview ever could. Meghan is always performing for the camera.
For having the photo with them. It's like, then don't pose for it, you idiot. Just say, I'd rather not.
How about don't go?
Right.
How about don't even go? You know, the thing that struck me too about those images of Meghan entering, you know, Harry had her by the hand, but she was several steps behind and she was beaming.
Always shaping the moment, while Harry looks overwhelmed every time the flash goes off. Their whole PR machine usually runs tight and smooth, but this time it fell apart live, unfiltered, and brutal. No matter how much Meghan planned, she couldn't control the fallout, and Harry couldn't escape from it. Together, they became the perfect picture of overreach, trying way too hard, caring way too much, and completely misreading the room like they didn't understand where they were standing.
Kardashians have 300+ million people on their Instagram accounts, or at least the highest level one.
And the Kardashians. They're not the type to let anyone twist their narrative or act like they run the show. They stayed silent for a few days, letting the Sussex circus whirl around online, watching the chaos build. But then Meghan's camp made the one mistake nobody saw coming, claiming the Kardashians broke some imaginary consent rule. And that's when the silence snapped instantly.
Basically based around ignoring the trolls, ignoring the naysayers, and making boatloads of money. They don't give a crap if you don't like Harry and Meghan.
Suddenly, insiders were talking, statements were being corrected, and the Kardashian machine woke up fast. And trust me, once it's awake, things never stay cute for long. There's an unspoken Hollywood rule everyone knows. You can embarrass yourself, you can flop, you can make every awkward mistake on the planet, but you do not embarrass the host, ever.
They didn't even see that, guys. When you're, again, talking about accounts with millions upon millions of followers, the only ones they're seeing at the most are the people who they are actually friends with and actually following.
And when the host is Kris Jenner, the mastermind behind a media empire sharper than most people's careers, you respect the territory or you deal with the fallout. She's precise, powerful, and one well-timed Instagram post from her can shift an entire narrative. Harry and Meghan stomped over that rule like toddlers running wild through a fancy event, and people noticed instantly. Kim, in particular, was reportedly heated because in that world, respect is currency, and Meghan and Harry made it look cheap.
Why the pictures were deleted. So we go to, let's say, the Celebrity Bible here, People magazine.
They tried flipping the script by painting the Kardashians as the villains, claiming something about broken consent forms, and out of nowhere, the whole night stopped being about Kris Jenner's 70th birthday. Instead, it became a story about two royals who can't handle the spotlight cleanly, who try to control every shot, and who suddenly got hit with accusations of twisting the truth. Everyone watched the rumor mill kick into full speed, and Hollywood could feel the tension rising.
Kardashian for comment. However, they have not commented. And again, it just raises a lot of fascinating questions.
And the Kardashians? They're the masters of narrative revenge, the ones who always know how to clap back without even raising their voice. This wasn't just embarrassment anymore. It felt like a warning shot fired straight at Meghan and Harry, and they were standing right in the center of it.
I would think, and I think this is also true, that people say the Kardashians don't want Harry and Meghan to overshadow them. Well, if you don't want Harry and Meghan to overshadow, you never invite them anywhere.
The real fallout isn't just the deleted photos, the awkward stares, or the internet roasting Harry's red face like it was a comedy special. The bigger story is the reputation hit they slammed onto themselves in Hollywood, and that hit is loud. Word spreads fast in that town, and insiders whisper even faster, and the new whisper is simple. Invite Meghan and Harry, and you're inviting chaos that sticks around for weeks. Hollywood runs on fragile alliances, silent favors, and those unspoken rules everyone follows without ever saying a word.
It kind of dissuades some of the negative publicity to them and not you. So I don't think there's much of that in this reasoning, to be quite honest, from the Kardashian-Jenner side.
And the Kardashians sit right at the top of that food chain, with stars, billionaires, moguls, and influencers watching their every move like it's a scoreboard. So when Kris Jenner or Kim Kardashian even raises an eyebrow, the room pays attention. And suddenly Meghan and Harry didn't look unprepared anymore. They looked like a straight-up liability. People in those circles don't forget moments like this. They analyze them. A-list names saw this whole mess play out and started taking mental notes in real time. Bezos and Sanchez probably avoided a whole storm by leaving the Sussex pair off their wedding invite list, and other power players are now triple-checking their guest list to avoid their own version of Photogate.
They were there. They invited them. They knew they were going to be there. They have to know. The Kardashians are smart. They have to know the reaction they're going to get, and they didn't really run away from it. So again, I can't help but think, okay, what are y'all doing? It's just, I don't quite understand the reasoning here.
Nobody wants guests who demand pictures be posted, then demand they vanish, then push some made-up consent drama into the press. The Sussex aura of royalty disappeared fast, and it got replaced with something people whispered about all week, a new title that no one wants, the couple who brings havoc. And this isn't just embarrassment for them, it's a warning sign to Hollywood, loud and clear. Hollywood lives and breathes reputation, and one wrong move doesn't fade away. It ripples out like a warning siren that everyone hears loud and clear. Invitations start shrinking, access gets tighter, and the people who still take risks move slow and careful because nobody wants to end up as the next piece of collateral damage.
I don't quite understand the reasoning here. So let's actually look at the pictures, because there's also some bit of information you can glean from the Instagrams that, again, reveal something rather fascinating.
For Meghan, staying relevant comes with a heavy price, and for Harry, social confidence doesn't come automatically. Together, they turned one party into a masterclass in mismanagement, ego overload, and a public meltdown that the whole industry is watching with popcorn in hand. And if you thought the chaos ended with the Kardashians, think again, because it gets even messier. Even their media allies, the same voices who used to defend them and spin every situation into a fairy tale, suddenly had enough.
Rather fascinating. So the first picture I saw, and this was on Kris Jenner's Instagram account here, and the first thing I thought is that Kris Jenner sort of hates Meghan Markle.
Tom Sykes and the royalist crowd who once cheered for the couple publicly called them out, and they didn't soften a single word. He exposed the Sussex camp's consent form claim as a made-up story, a thin excuse meant to justify pulling the photos down, and he said it straight. Sykes called out Meghan for panicking, Harry for looking lost, and both of them for dressing vanity up as morality, and people listened. He said what the tabloids were already whispering. If you didn't want the photos online, then why pose with Kim Kardashian?
It astounds me how ugly this dress is, how unflattering it is, how it looks like she weighs 150 pounds when she probably weighs 110 pounds. I'm like, how do you choose a dress when you have all the money in the world? This is from Balenciaga. Why do you choose dress that adds 30 pounds to you?
Why walk down the photo aisle like it was your big moment inside Bezos's mega mansion? Why show up to a Kardashian party at all if you can't handle the spotlight that comes with it? It became a public example of the exact chaos the couple creates everywhere they go, and the mess gets worse every time a celebrity gets caught twisting tiny details into something dramatic.
It's fascinating that a woman who has access to so many resources cannot figure out how to dress her body. This is a body dressing issue, not really an issue of her body, but she doesn't know how to dress it. And so she chooses outfits like this one.
People started wondering what they'd do when the stakes were even bigger, because this moment showed exactly how fast things could fall apart for them. The Sussex pair once again pushed a story where they were the victims, claiming they were wronged, even though the whole situation was something they built with their own choices. The media, which used to help amplify their version of events, finally began seeing through the curtain, and the shift was loud. Observers turned into critics, critics turned into analysts, and suddenly the narrative flipped completely.
It's just an absolute mess. And Kris looks good here, and you have Harry leaning in, which I find to be rather interesting.
The Sussexes weren't seen as innocent people tangled in Hollywood chaos anymore. They were seen as the ones creating it. And this meltdown wasn't the kind that disappears. This was the kind that sticks around, leaves marks, and follows them into every future headline. Once the media stops trusting you, it doesn't come back just because you release a polished statement. It stays around, spreads, and becomes part of your permanent story.
You have this most unflattering shot. Harry highlighting his bald spot here, which he's finally recognizing he has and just doesn't seem to want to do anything about.
Now we hit the grand finale of this whole Hollywood royal circus, and it's clear how badly this went. Meghan and Harry walked into the Kardashian world thinking they could twist the moment, control the narrative, and walk out with extra clout like it would all be easy. Instead, they stepped into a battlefield they weren't ready for, and every mistake they made got locked into screenshots, headlines, and non-stop gossip threads that never slow down.
So I'm like, okay, I feel like this is some subtle shade that Kris Jenner is throwing their way. And then we got another carousel. So Kris Jenner has released, I think, 4 carousels of her birthday. And here's the next.
None of it paints a flattering picture, because the Kardashians control image, they control publicity, and they control the narrative with expert precision. Meghan and Harry can barely control their own statements, and Hollywood saw it happen in real time. Their attempt to rewrite the whole situation with those phantom consent forms only exposed them even more, and people in Hollywood saw right through it.
It's not really a flattering picture.
Invitations started drying up, bridges they once relied on quietly disappeared, and old allies just shook their heads watching the drama unfold. And the internet? The internet had a feast. Every leaked photo, every deleted post, every contradicting comment became proof that the Sussex brand is a storm of chaos nobody in Hollywood is eager to gamble on. The headlines stayed harsh, the drama kept rolling, and Hollywood, like always, watched every second of it. If you want more breakdowns like this, make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.